Dear students, in this lecture on simple interest, we are going to solve some examples on simple interest based on the formulae which we have seen in the previous lecture. Let us see some examples from the topic simple interest. What principal will amount to rupees 1,12,000 in 5 years at 8% rate of simple interest? So, given things are principal amount we have to find. Amount is given as rupees 1,12,000. Rate of interest is given as 8% per annum and N is 5 years. N is 5 years. So we have to utilize the formula for amount. What is formula for amount for simple interest? It is A is equal to P 1 plus R into N upon 100. Substitute the values and solve this equation for P. So we'll substitute the values for amount. For amount is 1,12,000. Principal amount we have to find 1 plus 8 into 5 upon 100. After simplification, you can easily observe that you will get 1,12,000 equals to P 1 plus 8 into 5 is 40. 40 upon 100 is 0.4. So 1,12,000 is equal to P into, there is nothing here, means there is multiplication, that you note. So it is P into multiplication, that is into 1.04, and after division you can find that 1,12,000 divided by 1.04, that will give the answer of P. And you can pause the video, do this division and check whether you get the principal amount as rupees 80,000 or not. So the final answer is principal amount is rupees 80,000, and we can conclude this in this way. The principal of rupees 8,000 amounts to rupees 1,12,000 in 5 years at 8% per annum rate of simple interest. This was the first example in this lecture. Let us solve another example. With what rate of simple interest the principal of rupees 80,000 will amount to rupees 1,12,000 in 5 years? So the usual step to solve examples is this: write down given things or given data you have to write. Then second step, use appropriate formulae, and in third steps you have to do calculations and or solve equations. So calculations and or solve equations. So most of the examples we are going to solve in this way. First step, write down given data. Second step, select formulae. And third step, calculate or solve equations. So let us do the first step. Write down given formulae, given data. So P is given as 80,000. Amount is given as 1,12,000 and number of years is 5 years. Now this is first step. In second step, write down the formula which we are going to use. So first step, write given data. Second step, select the formula, and in third step we have to do calculations. So this is third step where we have to do calculations and solve equations. So calculations and solve equations. Remember this outline for solving examples. Most of the examples can be solved with this procedure or with this outline. So here in this formula, values are substituted. Amount equals to 1,12,000. Principal is given as 80,000. Then R is given as R we have to find, and N is given as 5. So after simplification, you can find that this equals to 1,12,000, 80,000 as it is, 1 plus 5 upon 100. So that equals to, this equals to 0.05 multiplied by R. There is nothing in between 0.05 and R, means there is multiplication. So it is 0.05 multiplied by R. Further simplify 1,12,000. Now multiplication gets distributed over addition. So it is 80,000 into 1 plus 80,000 into second term, that is 0.05 R. After simplification, if you shift this term 80,000 here on left hand side, then it becomes 1,12,000 minus 80,000, and 80,000. So you verify this fact that 80,000, do the calculations on your own and verify that 80,000 into 0.05 equals to 4,000. So this is 4,000 R. So 32,000 equals to 4,000 R, and if you take 4,000 on left hand side, it becomes 32,000 divided by 4,000. Note that here this is nothing but 4,000 into R. There is nothing, means there is multiplication, and if you shift 4,000 on left hand side, multiplication will become division, or we can say we are dividing both sides by 4,000. So 32,000 upon 4,000 equals to R, and that gives the value of R equals to 8. So the final answer is R is equal to 8. This completes the example. Let us see next example. The question is, in how many years the principal of rupees 80,000 will amount to rupees 1,12,000 at 8% per annum rate of simple interest rates? The procedure is again similar. Write down given things. Principal is 80,000, amount is rupees 1,12,000, and rate of interest is 8%. So this is our first step, to write down given data. So first step is to write down given data. Second step is to write down formula. So in second step, one has to write down formula. And third step, so in third step, we have to do calculations and solve equations. Calculations and solve equations. Note that in every example, we are having one unknown in one equation. So we have to solve linear equations only. And I have provided you notes for basic mathematics. I have provided you notes for basic mathematics. So I request you to refer to the notes in case you have difficulty in understanding calculations or solving equations. So you refer to the notes for the chapter of basic mathematics which I have provided you in notes. Now let us go through the details of this example. So formula is selected. A is equal to P 1 plus R into N upon 100, R into N upon 100. Then values are substituted. A is 1,12,000, P is 80,000, R is 8, and N we have to find. So the problem is to find N. What is N? Now solve this equation as we have solved it for the previous example. After simplification, you can find that it is 1,12,000, 8,000 multiplied by 1 plus 0.08 n. Multiplication gets distributed over addition, so this gets simplified to 80,000 into 1 plus 80,000 into 0.08 n. If you take this on left hand side, it will become 1,12,000 minus 80,000, and verify the fact that 8,000 into 0.08 equals to 6,400 or not. So this is actually equals to 6,400 into n. So this difference comes as 32,000, and here we are having 6,400 n. So 32,000 divided by 6,400 is equal to n, and that comes as 5 is equal to n. So final answer is going to be equal to n is equal to 5. The answer is that in 5 years the principal of rupees 80,000 will amount to rupees 1,12,000 at 8% rate of simple interest. This completes the example. Now, in last part, we are going to solve some more examples on simple interest. So let us go through last examples on the topic simple interest. In this example, the question is, with what rate of simple interest the amount will double itself in 10 years? So main thing that you have to understand in this example is that A is equal to 2P. That is what is given. Okay. Or we can write the formula. So A is equal to 2P that we have to use. Now first, again note the same steps. First step, write given data. Second step, write down formula. So I am writing the formula. A is equal to P 1 plus R into N upon 100. Now third step, substitute the values and do calculations. So what is given? A is equal to 2P. So that is equal to 2P is equal to P 1 plus R, number of years are given, that is 10 upon 100. So here PP gets cancelled. What we are left with is this. 2 is equal to 1 plus R into 10 upon 100. And after simplification, you can find that this is nothing but 2 is equal to 1 plus 10 upon 100 is 0.1 R. If you solve this equation, take 1 from right hand side to left hand side, so it becomes 2 minus 1, and that equals to 1. So 1 is equal to 0.1 R, and this further implies that R is equal to 1 upon 0.1, which equals to 10. So the final answer is R is equal to 10, and the conclusion is that with 10% rate of simple interest, the amount will double itself in 10 years. Let us solve a similar type of example. Here the difference is that in earlier example, rate of interest was given and we have to find n. Now in this example, R is given and we have to find N. In previous example, it was reverse case. N was given and we have to find R. Again, first step is to write the given fact. What is given? That A must be equal to twice of principal. And further it is given that R is equal to 10% per annum. These two things are given. Second step, write down the formula. A is equal to P 1 plus R into N upon 100. Third step, substitute the values, given values. So A is 2P, it is equal to P 1 plus R is 10 into N upon 100, and as we have solved the equation earlier, this will get simplified to, first of all note that PP gets cancelled, or we can divide both sides by 2. So this is equal to 2. 1 plus 10 upon 100 is 0.1 into N, and if you simplify this, if you take this 1 from right hand side to left hand side, it will become 2 minus 1, so that is equal to 1. So 1 is equal to 0.1 into N, hence the final answer will be N is equal to 1 upon 0.1, that is equal to 10. So the conclusion is that the amount double itself in 10 years with 10% per annum rate of simple interest. This completes the examples on simple interest. In next lecture, we will study compound interest, formulae and examples. Thank you.